place out at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday, the 17th of February 2024. We've got 8 races on the program. Race number 1 set to get underway at 1 o'clock. It is, of course, a doubleheader racing alongside Turfentine and their program as well. But we will be previewing the Kenilworth show. And joining me on the line is Graham Hawkins for this 8-race program. And Graham, how are you doing?
We're all good, thank you, Rahil, and it's a nice card that awaits us. A couple of tough races, a couple of what we hopefully are easier races to find the winner in. The weather, nice and cool. It's about 24 degrees and partial sunshine, a few clouds around, so it should be perfect weather for racing.
Well, let's get straight into it. Race number 1 is the start of the bar pot over the 1,000 meter trip. It is a maiden play for the work riders. And your favorite is Princess Virginie, and that is at 7-2, along with Maneki Neko. It's there 9-2 about Prankster, 5-1 Explosive Speed, 11-2 Jet Green, 7-1 and Better Baldos. Now, it does look to be a competitive start to the bar pot, but your thoughts on race number 1? Can the guys go short?
No, I'm going to hedge my bets here. First of all, let's just, so far there have been no scratchings that I'm aware of. I checked before starting to record. As everybody knows, we record this on the Friday morning prior to race day. So Rogue Mail and Jet Green, they both raced a few days ago in a similar sort of race. And Rogue Mail ran third, and Jet Green was in a different race, running third behind Tokyo Princess. At this stage, they stand their ground, but obviously their participation will depend on how they've come out of those races, and the trainers may be waiting to the last minute. So do check the scratchings. However, I do make the favourite, number 2, Princess Virginie, the right horse. I know that they think quite highly of this daughter of Vercingetorix. When racing over this distance, she ran second on debut behind Gypsy Express. She started favourite, but disappointed in the next 2 starts. There were excuses, and I do think she has a touch of class and a touch of ability, so number 2, Princess Virginie's got to go in. Maneki Neko, much better run last time out. Third run after arrest and being gelded at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday, and Maneki Neko is obviously one for the shortlist. And then others to like are one Prankster, shows a lot of pace, may appreciate reverting back to 1,000 meters, and then of course Rogue Mail, Explosive Speed and Jet Green come into the reckoning with some sort of a chance. Louis Burke, we've mentioned this before, he still hasn't won a work riders race. He was previously a professional jockey, and he rides number 2, Princess Virginie. That's got to be the top choice, but I'm taking no chances in the opening leg of the bipod, and I'm spreading my risk a little.
Yeah, a few horses to include in race number 1, the start of the bipod. Moving along to race number 2, which will be the start of the place accumulator, 1,000 meters the trip. It is a maiden juvenile plate, the off time 13:35. Eco is the favorite at 22-10. Makazole at 28-10. It's 4-1 Blowing in the Wind, and then it's 8-1 in Better Baldos. I see this horse Surge of Power has found some support, 14-1, down 8-1 for the Greg Enion yard, and Loom Kotwa takes a ride. But race number 2, your thoughts? Obviously, this Son of Fire away from the Candice Bass Robinson yard. The form was franked last weekend. Not the way we expected it to be franked, but it was franked nonetheless, and he obviously showed good improvement last time out, so he could continue to show that once again.
Very nice improvement in his second start. Definitely one for the shortlist. Definitely my first selection. But here again, this maiden juvenile plate over 1,000 meters may be a lot more competitive than it at first appears. There's money around for Makazole. Wasn't a bad debut in a winner's race. It was one of those sales races. Makazole, although he finished 11th, he was only 6 lengths behind the shock winner on that day, Little Ballerina. There were some useful horses that ran second and third in that race, and clearly there's plenty of scope for improvement from number 2 Makazole, the son of Trippy, so that has to be a lively threat to number 3 Eco. 7 Blowing in the Wind, well, the form is there for all to see, should be competitive in a race of this sort, and there's some positive comments around for number 9 Rafa Bay, first timer by Rafi for the Justin Snaith stable. JP van der Merwe of course rides because he's retained by Greg Bortz, and Greg Bortz owns number 9 Rafa Bay. So in my bipod, the second leg of the bipod, I've got all of numbers 2 Makazole, 3 Eco, 7 Blowing in the Wind, and 9 Rafa Bay. But if this follows through for number 4 Surge of Power, then we must respect the market.
Yeah, definitely. Now at 8-1. So if you see further support, include number 4, Surge of Power. But Eco, Blown in the Wing, Makazole, all horses to keep an eye on. Race number 3, the start of the Pick 6, 1,000 meters. The trip 2 is the off time, and it's a maiden juvenile plate for the fillies. Favorite is Sheets and Goggles at 12-10, 3-1 about In the Green Zone, 7-2 about number 3. It's then 5-1 Prom Queen, 20-1. And Better Bar those. Now, your favorite ran a good race on debut behind All Is Green, although I'm not convinced about that piece of form. And behind her was this horse In the Green Zone, who ran a good second at the second time of asking behind Gimme Fabulous. And we'll obviously see how that form line works out in the previous race with Blown in the Wind.
Yes, we have an opportunity. Obviously, it's too late for bipods and place accumulators to study the form of the second race, because what happens in race 2 could have a real impact on what we can expect in race 3. Even as far as Prom Queen is concerned, number 5 Prom Queen also ran first time up against Little Ballerina. She ran 10th and was marginally in front of Makazole. So if Makazole can frank that form, then clearly Prom Queen comes into the race with a bit of a chance. She's a nice type of filly with plenty of scope for improvement. But as I say, whatever happens in race 2 is going to be too late for our bipods and place accumulators. So let's trust the form. As you've mentioned, In the Green Zone and Sheets and Goggles, they met on the 27th of December when both were making their debuts. They ran second and third behind All Is Green. On that occasion, Sheets and Goggles was narrowly in front of In the Green Zone, but it might be In the Green Zone's favour that she's had another run, and that form did appear to hold up when running second behind Gimme Fabulous. So the fact that she's got that extra experience, another run under the belt, might just swing it in favour of number 1 In the Green Zone ahead of number 8 Sheets and Goggles, but clearly both have outstanding winning chances. 3 Priscilla Maisie made her debut in that Gimme the Fabulous form line, was beaten a couple of lengths by In the Green Zone, but again In the Green Zone had some racing experience, whereas Priscilla Maisie was making a debut. She's got a real sprinting pedigree, does Priscilla Maisie, being by far of a mare by Oratorio, so there's plenty of scope for improvement from number 3 Priscilla Maisie, and she should get a lot closer to number 1 In the Green Zone, so she has to be factored into the play. So I'm going 1, 3 and 8 in this leg of the bipod, but Prom Queen has to be taken seriously as well.
I'm sticking with the form runners in race number 3 on the program. Race number 4, this is set to be around over 1,600 meters. A maiden plate that will get Jackpot 1 underway. And your favorite is Blue Bay at 6-10. Spallion B is at 6-1. 8-1 about for Lupaki. It's 8-1 Water Dragon, 10-1 and Better Bar those. Now, this horse, Blue Bay, he took on winners last time out as a maiden, so that was a cracking performance. And given that he was only under 4 lengths off them in 6th position, it was certainly it was a bold move by Brett Crawford to put him in a group race, the Politician, on World Sports Bet in Met Day, Graham.
Yes, it was, and what a run from number 6 Blue Bay as a maiden, as you say, in the Grade 3 Politician Stakes, running 6th of 13, so he had more than half the field behind him. He was under 4 lengths behind impressive winner Green with Envy, and Rael, surely that form is just too strong for his opposition here. He rates for me the nap of the day in a natural pick 6 jackpot, bipod and place accumulator banker. It's very hard to look past number 6 Blue Bay for the winner. There are some runners with competitive form in the race, so if he fluffs his lines, this race is wide open. But I'm going to bank on number 6 Blue Bay. Significant jockey booking for the stable, Richard Faree. Look at those jockey and trainer stats. They're partnered 17 times. 7 times Richard Faree has found the winner's enclosure, 4 times back in second. So 11 of 17 he's been in the top 2, but a very high win percentage strike rate, so I'm confidently going with number 6 Blue Bay. If you like a few others, then you've got to consider all of numbers 1 Spelling B should go better from this kind of a draw. He didn't have the best of the draws last time out, so improvement expected from number 1 Spelling B. Number 3 Tom's Diner, much better run behind Dancing to the Light over 1,200 last time, should appreciate the step up to 1,600 meters. For Lupiki, Midway, Song to the Moon, they all have some form to recommend them. Number 8, Water Dragon, hasn't run since the 28th of May last year. Ran very well on debut, went third behind subsequent feature race winner My Golly Molly. But in the interim, Water Dragon has had surgery, and he might just need this run. So I'm confidently going with number 6, Blue Bay.
Yeah, I think if Blue Bay can't win on the strength of his last form line, then I think he may just struggle to win a race, because that form line was certainly a strong one that he met last time out. So race number 5, this is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,200 meters, and then a favorite is Pretty Precious. Now, Brett Crawford, he could be smiling after race number 4, and certainly after race number 5, Graham, because you believe that Pretty Precious could go very close to winning on the base of her last start, where she ran 1.5 lengths behind Kailami Girl, who looks to be a very smart sort from the Candice Bass Robinson yard.
Yes, and if you recall that day, the balance of the field were well strung out behind her. There was a big gap from Pretty Precious to the third placed runner on that day. And I think Pretty Precious, she's very well bred. She's out of that very good race mare Overarching. She's been second in her last 2 starts. She bumped a good one. The penny is dropping. She's going in the right way. And I think that here's another banker option on the card. There's some challenging races later on, and we've already discussed 1 or 2 pretty competitive races earlier on. So I'm bankering Blue Bay. I'm going to go strongly with number 10, Pretty Precious. Number 11, Lucy Rocket. Not that well fancied in the anti-post market, but the form is pretty decent. Night Vigil, 5th on debut, beaten under 2 lengths, and then behind Dame of Tricks, who came out to run a good race in her post-maiden effort. So number 11, Lucy Rocket, for me, presents as the principal threat. There are a few that have been running around the maidens for a while. Number 6, Hanging Rock, there and thereabouts on pretty much all of her starts. Number 7, Love Shack, fits into that same category. Captain's Destiny, that ran 3rd behind Kailami Girl, and has got a couple of lengths to find on Pretty Precious. I'm pretty confident that Pretty Precious is going to confirm the form with number 9, Captain's Destiny. Kaapse Whip, also done enough to suggest that she could be considered for trifectas and quartets, but my confident first choice is number 10, Pretty Precious. I'm going to be nailing my colours to the mast and making her a banker. If you do want to hedge your bets, then I suggest that the principal threat could be number 11, Lucy Rocket.
I fully agree with you with number 11, Lucy Rocket, overpriced at 10-1 in the market, and she is the horse that I think could be the one to run second in this contest. As you heard from Graham, the principal threat to your favorite, Pretty Precious. Race number 6, Progress Plate over 1,400 meters, and Questioning is back in action. He's at 22-10. 5-2 about Weekend Goal Night, 3-1 it's Raining William, 33-10 Hats Pride, and then it's 12-1 and Better Bar Those. Now, your favorite Questioning, he's obviously a talented son of Karari that Vaughan Marshall thinks quite a bit of. He ran in the Guineas last time out, and he didn't necessarily put his best foot forward, even only beaten 5 lengths. He was in 8th position. And I'm sure Vaughan Marshall is keen to bring him down to KZN for the season. But this run will no doubt he's definitely going to be a lively contender in this race, Graham.
This is a terrific race, this Progress Plate over 1,400 meters. I think the betting has got it pretty much right. Perhaps not in the right order, that only the result will show us. But I think the 4 horses that are quoted, then 12-1 bar the top 4, I think those are the only 4 that really matter. Let's start with Questioning, as you did. He's unbeaten 2 from 2 over 1,400 meters. He won the Group 3 Cape Classic when beating the subsequent Guineas winner Snow Pilot. And at that stage, if you recall, Questioning was being hailed as a potential Guineas winner. He didn't appear to stay the 1,600 meters in the Cape Punters Cup, and then ran below par. Without question, he ran below par in the Guineas when comfortably beaten 5 lengths by Snow Pilot. He's been freshened up, I think. He reverts to what is his favourite trip. I'm not too concerned about the draw. Both It's Raining William and Questioning drawn out wide, but it's a small field of 8. And if Questioning, the betting suggests they're expecting a big run, but It's Raining William is not going to be a pushover. I'm just hoping that they adopt the same tactics, that It's Raining William goes forward as he did last time. They don't try and cover him up. Give him his head from the jump. Let him run them into the ground, because he won well and he won full of running. It was also a Progress Plate, so a similar type of race. We know that he's got talent. He's shown that throughout his career, And It's Raining William has got racing fitness on his side, whereas Questioning comes back, admittedly from a short break, but he might just need a run. But this race is a good race, as I said. So Questioning clearly has a big chance. It's Raining William hopefully goes to the front from the jump and runs in the same sort of style as he did last time out. We Can Go All Night, serious contender. The Eric Sands form was in stable was in terrific form during the course of the week. They saddled 3 winners, and if you go to the 30th of December form line, when beaten a short-head by Prometeur, on that occasion It's Raining William was just behind him. So there's not much to choose between We Can Go All Night and It's Raining William. It's Raining William's had the benefit of another run since, so again might just have the edge in the fitness department, but We Can Go All Night is very, very decent. He'll make a bold bid. He should be running on very strongly at the line. And then Hat's Pride is interesting. He finished ahead of Questioning in the Guineas, went 5th behind Snow Pilot. He was never really in contention in the Politician Stakes. He was staying on rather than threatening at any stage. He reverts back to 1,400 metres. His only start over 1,400 metres was a win. And again, Richard Faree is a significant booking. So I think those are the 4 runners. The winner should certainly come from one of these 4. Number 3, We Can Go All Night. Number 6, Hat's Pride. 7, It's Raining William. Number 8, Questioning. Those are the 4 that matter. The market support for number 8, Questioning, has to be respected. But I'm going to make It's Raining William my marginal first choice.
Currently at around 3-1, horse number 7 for Justin Snaith and Grant van Niekerk. But a race where you can go light and just go with 4 horses here, and all 4 horses are in single figures. Race number 7, the penultimate race on the day, 1,600 meters the trip. This is the Cape Sea Stakes for fillies and mares. 4:30 is the off time, and Could It Be is your favorite at 22-10 in the market. It's 4-1 about Enchanting Choice. Lorena is at 11-2. Grandiosa at 6-1. Porto Zante 10-1 into 8-1, and then it's 10-1 and better bar those. Now, this horse, Could It Be? Elder Demare gets back in the irons for Candice Bass-Robinson, a filly that's been making good headway in her recent starts. They are dropping her in trip, which is a slight concern for me, but how do you see it, Graham?
Well, firstly, I think the last 2 races on the card are very competitive. This race, I think, is wide open, but number 8, Could It Be, does have all the right sort of credentials to be at the top of the board. She's a worthy favourite in an open and competitive betting market. She does step back to 1,600 metres, which could be a little bit of a concern. She was seen to be running on very, very strongly over 1,800 metres in her last 2 starts from well back. So just how far back she's going to be turning for home is anybody's guess, but Elder Demare has only ridden Could It Be twice for a win and a second, so he knows the filly well. He gets on well with Could It Be, and she's certainly one of the leading lights in the race, but I don't think it's cut and dried. I think number 8, which is number 8, Could It Be, is the one we've discussed. I think number 6, Lorena, has to be considered as a lively contender. She does have it all to do under 61.5, but she's got to be one for the shortlist. Number 9, Dual Agent. I fancied this one a little bit last time out at a big price. The blinkers went on last time, didn't seem to work for her, and the blinkers come off on this occasion, so maybe without the blinkers she'll run a much better race. Enchanting Choice, again, disappointing last time out, but we know that she's better than that. And on past form, she could certainly have the measure of Could It Be. If you go back to the form line of the 10th of December, she ran second to Windrunner, and Could It Be on that occasion was 3rd. So you can't draw a line through the chances of number 7, Enchanting Choice, just because she ran below par last time out. And then, you know, you can never ignore that man, Richard Faree. There's been a nibble in the anti-post market for number 11, Porto Zante. Richard Faree has only ridden her once. That produced a win, so he gets aboard. Porto Zante for the first time since he won the maiden at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on the 9th of July. That was a long time ago. But Porto Zante's only had 3 starts since. I would ignore the last run. She went a helter-skelter pace up front and, not surprisingly, fell in a hole in the closing stages. I'm sure she'll be ridden with a lot more restraint from an outside gate this time, and the booking of Richard Faree is significant. So number 11, Porto Zante, cannot be ignored. I think those are the principal runners. There's always the potential for an upset in a race of this nature, these fillies and mares races. But I'm going to go with number 6, Lorena, as my top choice, ahead of number 8, Could It Be, then number 7, Enchanting Choice, number 9, Dual Agent, and number 11, Porto Zante. But at least all of those 5, as an absolute minimum, have got to go into your permutations.
Lorena at around 11-2 in the market could represent some decent value in race number 7. Race number 8, the final race on the day. This is a Class 3 contest over 1,600 meters. 10 past 5 is the off time. And your favorite is number 10, Prometer, at 33-10. It's 9-2 about Get Impressed, 5-1 Future Turn, 11-2 Lindbergh, 6-1 about Blackberry Malt, and then it's 8-1 and Better Bar those. Now Prometer, he's been a horse that has obviously found his form of late, Graham, and he's going about his business the right way. But from an 83, he's gone up to a 95, so 6 points each time for winning. The handicapper could just have his measure, or do you think he could be a step ahead of the handicapper?
Well, I don't think he can be too far ahead of the handicapper. He might still be ahead of the handicapper. He's clearly in the form of his life. Is number 10, Prometer. Again, Richard Faree gets aboard the son of Pomodoro for the Vaughan Marshall stable. So Prometer, definitely one of the leading lights. At the weights, on the basis of their last run, not much to choose between number 7, Future Turn, and number 10, Prometer. Prometer this time has got to jump from a rather awkward draw of 10. So I think he can be vulnerable. It's a competitive race. So depending on how you structure your pick sixes and your jackpots, etc., if Blue Bay and Pretty Precious are your bankers and we get through those legs, you don't want to be running short in either the 7th or the 8th race. I think my idea of the winner comes in the form of number 1, Lindbergh. He receives 7 kilograms from Prometer, and on top of that, he's drawn in pole position, whereas Prometer is drawn in gate 10. So that's got to be a huge advantage for Brett Crawford's runners. We know that Brett Crawford's stable is firing on all 4 cylinders. Last time out, he was beaten under a length by Quartermain, and Quartermain came out to frank that form again by winning during the course of week. So Lindbergh offers some each way value, and for me is the one they probably will all have to chase down. But this is a very competitive. It's a Class 3 handy. Number 2, Nevada King, well drawn, was under 2 lengths behind Prometer last time out. Blackberry Malt is always there and there. Bosch Kadesh, well, he disappointed me again last time out, but on his best form, he could step forward in a race like this and show improvement. Ketchikel has also been struggling to find his best form for Gareth Van Sale, but Gareth did have a winner during the course of the week. It hasn't been plain sailing for Gareth during the Cape Summer season, but Ketchikel, we know he's got ability, and if you're looking for a little bit of an upset, then Ketchikel could be the source of that upset. Future Turn, we've mentioned, he's closely handicapped with Prometer, and then Get Impressed. Well, he also ran in the Politician Stakes Grade 3. He was 5th under 3.5 lengths behind Green with Envy. Prior to that, he ran 2nd to Bardolino in exactly the same race that Lindbergh ran 3rd. So if you like Lindbergh, as I do, then you've got to like number 9, Get Impressed. So I think this is a very competitive, evenly matched, close handicap, and there are a whole list of horses with chances. But top of that list for me, because of the weight and because of the draw, would be number 1, Lindbergh.
I'll throw in this horse, Rosh Kadesh. If we go back to the run on the 18th of November 2023, he's got Prometer absolutely stone cold at the weight, and I think with Anthony Andrews aboard for Dean Caname, I think at around 8-1, he could run one of his better races down in the Western Cape. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now, and Graham will take us through his bipod, which is the suggested bet for the day. And the bipod commences with the running of race number 1 at 1 o'clock. So Graham, take it away.
Thank you, Rahil. First leg, as you said, goes off at 1 o'clock. It is a work rider's maiden plate over 1,000 meters. I'm including 3 runners. Number 1, Prankster. Number 2, Princess Virginie. And the improving number 8, Maneki Neko. Taking no chances in the second race, which is the maiden juvenile plate. All of numbers 2, Makazoli. 3, Eco. 7, Blowing in the Wind. And 9, Rafa Bay. Then in the third leg, numbers 1 in the green zone, 3 Priscilla Maisie, and 8 Sheets and Goggles. Watch out for improvement from number 5 Prom Queen, but I do think that numbers 1, 3, and 8 should be enough to get us through there. Then the best bet on the card for me and bank in race 4, not only for the bipod, but the PA and the pick 6 as well. Number 6, Blue Bay, opened up at 8 to 10, has shortened into 6 to 10, so there's plenty of market confidence, and he does look very hard to beat. Race 5 in the bipod, I'm bankering number 10, Pretty Precious as well. Does appear the one they all have to beat. The danger appears to be number 11, Lucy Rocket, but happy to bank in number 10, Pretty Precious in the bipod. And the last leg I'm going with numbers 3, We Can Go All Night, 7, It's Raining William, and 8, Questioning. That's my suggested bipod for the meeting at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday, the 17th of February.
And that bipod will cost you 108 Rand for a full unit. Graham, thanks very much. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy racing on Saturday.
Thank you, Raheel. Godspeed.
Thanks very much to Graham Hawkins, and all the best with racing out at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday. Hopefully it's a profitable day's racing.